been working on this short film, and I've been making some good progress. So today I finished all the content I have right now. There's a few more scenes that need to be shot, and they're going to be sent to me. So I finished everything I had, I think. So I'm hoping I'm doing on schedule, and I moved on to a feature length film. So I had originally thought I was going to do the feature first, but then I said, okay, let me knock this short film out. I think I have all the content. But then I realized that there were a couple of scenes that the director wanted to reshoot. So I went on and edited everything I had, followed the script, and I think it's coming along nicely. So I decided to move on to the feature. And I started that today, opening it up. It was already organized because I had organized that about a week ago. So again, just to recap, when I start a film, either feature or a short, now this is a great tip for editors. I first of all get all the footage, and usually I have the footage delivered on hard drive, which is great because nowadays, in the days of everybody shooting on 4K, the footage is really large, takes up a lot of gigabytes. Some people try to transfer it, Dropbox or Google Drive, something like that, to an online transfer because they think it's more convenient, but it's not. Because the problem is there's really no batch downloading of 4K because a file can get corrupt, a file can get stuck, anything can happen, and you're waiting for it to download and it doesn't download. You got to start over again, and just a lot of nonsense. So what I normally do is ask the producers to send me a hard drive with the content on it. That way I can verify that I have everything. I can take that hard drive and transfer the footage over to my local editing drive. And another advantage for the producers, they have a off-site backup, because I'll tell you this also, as far as an editor, you want to be sure that when you're editing someone else's project, that you have a backup local with you. You have a copy that you use as your edit drive. So you usually have two copies: the backup that they sent you on a hard disk, external hard disk, and your copy that you edit off of. That way, if something happens on your end, files become corrupt, hard drive crashes, you have their copy sitting across the room, and you can easily get back to work. You'll have your project file, and hopefully you're backing up your project file as you go along. So that you always have to have backup strategies. You need to think this through, especially when you're working on clients' projects. When you're working on your own project, maybe you can cut corners. But when you're working on a paid client project, you want to have backups. You want to have backups of all the media. You want to have backups of the project file as you go along, as you make substantial progress. Usually what I try to do is, when I'm editing someone else's project, when I edit about maybe 20, 15 minutes, that's a lot of edit decisions. So I always back up a copy of the project file. I edit in Premiere Pro. So what I do is I make a copy, I say save as, and I'll give it a backup number, and I'll save it to some other drive on my system. That way, if something happens, if you make a mistake, as a matter of fact, just the other day, I had created a bunch of opening titles. It was an intricate opening title sequence for this short film. So I had decided to do that first. And I got notes from the director. And so he gave me the notes on what footage to use. I put it all together. I put the titles mixed in. I even added in a little bit of music to see how it was flowing. And it was great. So then I went on to continue editing. And I had edited about 20 minutes in, and I had an extra timeline above the content I was editing. It was in my way, so I deleted it. Next day, I realized on that timeline was the title sequences that I had created and edited in. So what I had to do, luckily, I had backed it up. Even Premiere has its own backup that it does. So I was able to dig down a few versions into Premiere, grab that title sequence, and what I did was, like I normally do, I decided, okay, let's keep this intricate sequence separate. So I created a title sequence for I created a Premiere Pro sequence just for the title, and I left that there. So you have to have your own backup strategy. You have to think this through. As you start editing, you'll start to realize, okay, how can I back this up? What works for me? What's the most time effective? What's the most, where am I error prone? Where am I error prone to make mistakes? How do I like my timeline to look? If you have, like, 5 or 6 video tracks, you may not want to keep that when you're editing a rough cut. So you may want to put that on another sequence and save that. So that's what I do. I divide stuff and I keep it, labeled correctly. So once it's time to put everything together, I can put all the pieces together. And if I do make a mistake, which inevitably sometimes I do make mistakes, even I make mistakes, so I can quickly recover. So this is just a little quick update about where I am today. Editing. Again, I started a longer project, just got that open and I'm cutting that. If you haven't been to my channel, please go to my channel, look at some of my content. If you like what you see, please subscribe, share it. I've noticed a lot of you guys have been sharing my footage and I really appreciate that. It really gets the word out. I'm working on moving close to 800 subscribers and I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you. Thank you. So again, I have some humorous stuff there. I put out some other content yesterday that, is inspirational, I think. It talks about film and it talks about make decisions and it talks about, it kind of crosses over where film and normal life intersects. I had received an email from a young filmmaker and he said that a lot of the stuff I talk about on my channel is applicable to real world situations that are not film or acting or editing related. And I thought about it and some of the stuff is. So what I did was I leaned into that a little bit. And I might do that from time to time too, because I enjoy that. I use a lot of the stuff that I've learned over the years in my real life to try and do things better, to try and avoid mistakes, to try and be calmer, and accept life and try to make things better for me and my family. So again, take a look at some of my content. I have a lot of humorous stuff there. Next week, I'll be working on some more humorous content and some more acting, directing, and editing related content. So I'm trying to branch out a bit too. I'm going to always stay with my core material because that's what I know well. That's what I believe in. That's what I like. And that's what I can talk freely about and confidently about. So again, this is just going to be a short intro. Thank you guys for stopping by. Hello, everyone. Hello. This channel is about acting, directing, and editing. I have been doing this for like 35 years. I'm an actor. You can look me up online. You can see some of the work I've done. I'm a character actor. You can go to IMDb and look for James Adam Tucker. You'll see my body of work over the past 35 years. And I'm also a film editor and director. So check me out. If you like what you see on there, please subscribe and send me any emails if you have. I appreciate that. And thanks for stopping by. I'm always looking for new viewers. That's why I jump on this vertical live. I love this vertical live because I can meet people like you who haven't seen my work before and encourage you to come look at it. That's the way I've been discovered the most. I read my YouTube analytics and that's where people find me on this vertical live stream. Sometimes I do them too long. People don't like long streams on here. I understand that now. And so I kind of try to keep it short and maybe jump back on later today. But tomorrow I'll be down at the Orange Door Spaces in Redondo Beach. That's a place where I've started shooting a couple of weeks ago. I go down there and do some content. It's a location for content creators. And, I've been down there shooting, using some of their locations. They have a bunch of different sets set up. So I've been using that. I've been putting myself on display. It's inside a mall in Redondo Beach. So people walk by, they look at me, they see what I'm doing. I'm editing there. So just do something a little bit different because I do most of my editing right here in my home. So I decided to try something a little bit different. I like it. I'm going to be using that for locations when I have different shoots and I come up with ideas. It's really an inspiring place. You can look it up online. It's called Orange Door Spaces down in Redondo Beach, California. And but I'll be there tomorrow. I might jump on Vertical Live just for a short bit again, but I'm going to mostly be shooting content that I'm going to come back home and edit. And I like it because it just puts me in a different environment. Makes me think differently. Different backgrounds. Most of my backgrounds are just plain curtains or photographic backgrounds, but I like those sets. Can move around, have that freedom, that flexibility. So I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by. Please check out my content. If you like it, subscribe and share it if you do. Thanks a lot. I will see you on the next one.